And hello, everyone, and welcome back to Cyrus Webb Presents here on Amazon Live. I'm your host, Cyrus Webb. Glad you all could join us once again. We are broadcasting live today from the Werner House in Columbus, Ohio. Our very first time bringing the show to Columbus. We are for a very special event. A best-selling author, Colette Harrell, is hosting her writer's brunch this weekend, and I'm here to not only be able to be a part of her event, but also to bring you guys some great authors. And we're excited to be able to kick that off with our next hour. We want to welcome those also tuning in on our simulcast on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, X, and on Instagram. Glad you all could be with us here as we're here in Columbus. If you guys have any questions or comments, make sure you guys do put those in the comment section. I already see you guys coming in. Insight Magazine, hello to you over there on IG. Ellen of ESP Presents, hello to you. We're kicking things off with author Amber Hill. We're going to talk to her not only about her love of storytelling, but also inspiring young people and reminding other people what's possible as well. You guys will see, if you're joining us on the Amazon side, you'll see the books that we'll be briefly talking about here. You see her newest book there that also is behind her there, as you also will be able to hear a special announcement too. But Amber, thank you so much for the time. Really appreciate it.
Good morning. Thank you for allowing me to be here.
Well, look, it's our pleasure. It's great to be in Columbus. This is my very first trip to Columbus, Ohio. So I'm
Welcome
excited
to
to
the
be able.
Midwest.
Yeah. So look, so I'm excited for one thing to be able to meet all of you great authors, but also to be able to discuss one of my favorite things, and that is books. So Amber, I want to talk about this experience for you because you're now celebrating 3 books. You have a special announcement you're going to be sharing later. What has it been like for you to do what you love when it comes to storytelling, and then to share that with all of us?
Well, it has been an amazing, beautiful journey. This was something that I did not set my sight out on doing in the beginning of my life, right? I always
Mhm.
wanted to be an educator, and then God pushed me out to do children's literature. And when I say I was nervous at first because that's a new journey of life, but it has been such a beautiful experience. I have met some amazing people on this journey. I have learned a lot as a self-published author. This job is not always easy, but I
Mhm.
became more resilient throughout the time. And then I brought along other beautiful authors and inspired them to write children's literature because I know that we need to have more and more children literature that is great for our youngest people, our youngest learners. Sometimes we forget about them, right? And we
Right.
need to have an abundance of literature that will inspire them to want to pick up a book and enjoy reading like I did as a young girl. And my sons, they all love to read. So this journey has been amazing.
I'm so glad you mentioned that. When I was prepping for each one of the segments here for Columbus, Amber, one of the things that really struck me is the connection that the author seems to have to the stories. You just mentioned being a mother of boys. Of course, your books allow young boys, especially young boys that look like me, to be able to see themselves represented. What has that been like for you? Because that's not always the case where we can see ourselves in books, see ourselves in television shows and movies. What has it been like for you to let especially little brown boys, to be able to see themselves in the pages of a book?
Well, that was one of the things I said, okay, God, if you want me to begin to write children's literature, why not highlight my 4 boys? I have 4 amazing, well, they're almost grown men now. And I said, if I'm going to write anything, why not allow them to be the main characters in my stories? And for one, um, this journey for them, because they're nothing like their mother. I am outgoing. I love to talk and be amongst people. They're more reserved, introverted, and this allowed them to build on their skill sets of public speaking and being out there in entrepreneurship. So this journey along with me they have been on this ride with me from the very beginning. When we have book events, they are right there by my side 90% of the time. So this has been amazing, not just for me, but for them. But particular when I started to do children's literatures, because as a educator, I taught young people, and most of the literature that I was trying to seek did not have characters that looked like the scholars that I teach, right? So I was like, and then it was during the time where we had George Floyd and all those things, and I
Mm.
wanted to change the trajectory of what people thought about young African American boys. And then I wanted to inspire our boys to pick up books. When they come to me, Our young men love to read. They are so excited about literature, but as they transition to grades third, fourth, fifth grade, you be like, why don't you like to pick up books? And they say there's no characters that look like me. So I was inspired not just by being a boy mom, but inspired by all my scholars that I see on a daily basis, that I want to have literature where they can say, hey, that looks like me. It inspires me when I have
Mm,
books, when I say, hey, I my name is Jacoby, or my name is Jabez, or my name is Jabbar, or that that main character looks just like me with the locks or the
mm.
mohawk and things like that. And I see their faces light up. That is why I do what I do, because I want to make sure that the literature is fun and engaging and build on their academic capacity, but also it looks like them so they can start believing in themselves despite what the world say about them.
Yeah, that's a really good point. I'm going to share your website here for a second, Amber, because that's one of the things that struck me too about this. Well, I wanted to make sure we bring up in this conversation because it really is about self love, right? And also realizing your value. If on the Amazon side, I'm highlighting right now the book you guys see on your screen, Jacoby, What Can I Be? So you guys can see, you can get it there. The Kindle edition there for $4.99. I'm going to highlight that for you guys over on Amazon, but you can get the paperback there also going for $19.99. And then you have a book like Jabari, What I Love About Me. Talk to us about the messaging here, Amber, and why it's so important to have that message of self-love, but also appreciating who you are and what you can be.
Well, as an educator and just being an African American woman myself, it's times where the world don't see us as our value, don't see the good qualities that God has given us, right? And so as I was navigating Jacoby's book, I wanted to build, not only build beautiful characteristics that I believe Jacoby is and Jacoby believes about himself, while also
Mm-hmm.
building on the language capacity. I wanted high frequency words so our kids could be able to compete on assessments. But with Jabari book, I went a different direction, because as I was navigating, now I'm at the district level and I see abundance of scholars. Our scholars are not loving themselves. They're comparing
Mm-hmm.
themselves to their peers. They're comparing themselves to people on social media. And I continue on and put out that message. You are beautiful. No matter who you are, God made you specifically for you and a purpose in life. And you need to love all the beautiful qualities that God gave you, right? My nose is because this is ancestry, my DNA, my gene pool, right?
Mm-hmm.
Generations of this beautiful nose. Love you, because if you don't love yourself, then nobody else will. So I want to continue to put that message out, because we need to build our youngest learners and our youth um, capacity of loving themselves. It's so much competition out there. I'm seeing people transform their bodies because
Mm-hmm.
ultimately it's you're not loving who God made you to be, right? So my
Yeah.
message is love you first. Can't love anybody else until you love you first.
Such a great message. Amber, I'm going to reset real quick here and say for those who are just tuning in on the Amazon side, I see you guys coming in. Welcome. We're broadcasting live today from the Werner House in Columbus, Ohio. We're back on the road. Last week we had you guys in Los Angeles, but today we're making our very first trip in Columbus, Ohio. We're here with Colette Harrell, the best-selling author of Later. She's hosting a writer's brunch today, and one of the authors she's hosting is the author that's our guest for this segment. Amber Hill is here. We're talking with her about her love of children's books. I want to read some of the comments coming in here. Kenneth Brown, hello to you. Good to be able to see you. We have some comments from Ellen of ESP Presents. Amber, let me go ahead and bring those in. She said, how challenging, if any, to write children's stories, and to be a boy. How do you start the reading journey? That's one question. And then she also said it's fun. We think in general that boys, men don't read, but we see male authors. Yeah, and I'm a big reader myself, Ellen. So let's talk about that question, Amber. How challenging, if any, to write children's books, especially for young boys?
Well, for me, it wasn't challenging because I am an educator and I know, so I wanted to be intentional about looking at our early learning standards
Mm-hmm.
that is here for the state of Ohio, and thinking about the different content that my scholars were not. they were getting further and further behind. I wanted to make sure that they were prepared for school or for different content in an academic capacity. So for me, my content was all about what content I want to disperse out there that our scholars need to know to be prepared for school. And how can I input it in a fun and engaging way? So that journey for me was easy because I am walking this journey alone as an educator.
Gotcha.
And I know I was intentional about what I want to do because my whole mission is to build their academic capacity in a fun way, but also giving illustrations and fun little things where they like, whoa, I want this book, right? So like when I went to Jacoby was the first book that I wrote, and at first my mindset was the book will be 0 to um first grade, 8-year-olds. But then as I started the journey of doing author visits, I noticed that the words that was in this book was for our fifth graders or fourth graders, and they absolutely loved just the words because it was words that they never have been exposed to. So for me, it's all about thinking about what does our scholars need.
Mm,
So that journey of writing was as a blessing has been easy for me.
yeah. I mentioned the book there featuring Jacoby. Amber, I'm going to highlight it again for audience there on Amazon. I also, of course, mentioned the book there with Jabari. Talk to us about the newest book that we see behind you featuring Jabez.
So Jabez is my second son. And this book, I wanted to incorporate some science, some math, some number recognition, one-on-one correspondence, all the little things that I see that our kids are struggling in math and science. So this book, Jabez is taking them on a ride of recognizing their numbers, counting beautiful animals, learning a beautiful fact about each animal, and building upon their color recognition and things like that. And the scholars really love this book, especially like their favorite page is pink flamingos. They did not know. Who knows that pink flamingos sleep on one leg, right? So when you go
Mm,
to the zoo or they know now if a flamingo is sleeping on one leg, leave them alone, right? They sleep.
mm,
So I was intentional about I was intentional about making sure that I had more academic content when it comes to the science and math incorporated in this book. And it has the most amazing illustrations that make it pop. So the scholars really love the different illustrations in this book. So Jabez, what do you see is an amazing book just to, build upon their math and science capacity.
yeah. I want to talk about the something you mentioned in the beginning, Amber, because I think it's important to kind of step back. As I mentioned, I'm in town for Colette Harrell's Writers Brunch, but this is also an opportunity to empower storytellers like yourself, to give you guys tools to network, and be able to be built up. Do you still have those wow moments when you look at this? I mean, here you are, you're an educator, you're able to, write these books, to share these stories. Do you still have those wow moments that you're able to use your gifts and talents the way that you are and then to make a difference?
Yes, 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 I do. I'm blessed to work at the district level now and no longer inside the classroom. So I get to experience an abundance of learners, right, at different multitude of ages. And I'm able to travel and do author visits and do multiple book events. And as I come across not only young people, I come across people that are inspired to be like, hey, I would love to meet with you to help me. I'm thinking about writing a book. Um, enjoying the author journey. But my wow moment is when I'm always inspired to see my young people. I had a young person come and tell me that I didn't look like an author. And I said, what does that mean? And he's like, you don't look like an author. I said, I know, but I am. And I said, why do you say that? He said, because you don't look like one. And it was amazing because he was excited because I look like him. He'd never
Yeah.
seen a person of color look like him doing writing children's literature or just being an author. So being able to inspire young people and just people to say, hey, just because you're not a certain color does not mean you cannot join this journey and that you
Yeah.
can do this as well, right? So that's always my favorite when I show our young people that is something different, that we can do all things. It's whatever God has called us to do, right?
Yeah, such a great point. Hello to you, Addie T. Good to be able to see you over there on Facebook. He says hello to you as well. Amber, also want to see Grant for SC on Instagram. Thank you so much for being with us. And to you, Alicia of Hardcore Grind Magazine there in Atlanta. She says hello as well to you. So I want to talk about this last point that I know you have an announcement you want to make for us, Amber, and that is about showing people what's possible. Like you just said, that's one of the things that drives me. You know, I tell people I'm a country boy from Mississippi, live in the country, still live in the country to this day. But I'm so glad to be able to show other people. It doesn't matter where you're from or how tall you are. Those things don't have to stop you. How has that been for you to, just by your living your life and the accomplishments that you've had, to remind people of what's possible in the world?
Well, my mission in life, I just do what God has called me to do. My mission in life is to inspire and encourage people to be their best selves. God
Mhm.
gave each and every one of us a different gift. It's not our job to compare ourselves to the next person
Mm.
because their gift is supposed to bless the world in a different way. It's our job to walk in what God has called us to do, right? So
Mhm.
my daily mission is to inspire everybody to tap into those gifts that God gave you. Find out, if you don't know what it is, find out what it is and utilize it, because every gift that God gave each different person will bless the world. And
Yeah.
to love you first and utilize that gift. When you do that, you live a life of abundantly. I live my life knowing that I am doing what God called to me and I'm happy, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
And this journey was not what I anticipated. This was a gift that I did not know I had, but I'm here and I'm enjoying it and I'm loving it because I know I'm inspiring and encouraging millions of people all around just
Yeah.
to love themselves and to embrace whatever gift that God gave them.
Such a great point. And as you mentioned, of course, you have 3 books that are out, but Amber, you were telling me before we went live that you have a special announcement you want to share with our audience. What is it?
Yeah, so like I said earlier, I have 4 amazing boys. So only 3 of my children's books. So now are my sons. So now my 4th book of my oldest son will be coming out later August, I think Friday, August 31st. He
Mm,
plays for University of North Texas. His first football game against South Alabama is coming up. So I wanted to publish his book, get it out there on his first football game. So I'm so
wow.
excited. His book will be Jaden, How Do You Feel? A book about emotions. And as we
Ah,
know, mental health is real and there's
yes.
different types of emotions. And I want to disperse the information that all emotions are good, is how you react with them. Not
I
only
love that.
that, he will be having a healthy conversation with his dad. How cool is that? Having 2 Black men having conversations, well, a father and a son having
Mhm.
healthy conversations about emotions and what do you do with those emotions. So I'm so excited to be releasing his book at the end of this month. The 4th children's book, Jaden, How Do You Feel?
I love that. Amber, I'm so glad we got a chance to connect. Again, another win for Colette Harrell, being able to bring amazing people together. And I'm so glad that we get to share you with our audience here on Amazon Live. And I also should mention for our podcast audience as well on iHeartRadio and Amazon Music. Again, everyone, author Amber Hill has been our guest. The books that we've been talking about here, the 3 that are out now, you can find them here in the carousel on Amazon. So you can look either here on the side or down below. Also, if you guys are new to us here on Amazon, make sure you guys do hit that follow button. That'll keep you connected with all of our programming that we have here 6 days a week here on Amazon Live. So again, you'll see the follow button either here in this corner or down below. Make sure you guys press that to stay connected with all of our programming. Amber, let our audience know, how can they stay connected with you and kind of keep up with your journey on social?
Yes, I am. You can look at my website. It's Epiphany Hill, EPIPHANY, Hill Enterprises.com. I'm on social media, Epiphany Hill Enterprises, and all social media platforms, and also Amber Hill on social media. You can look up my personal and my business, all the same pretty much. So you can follow me on all those platforms, social media, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter.
There you go. So I want to say, Ellen says, me too, talking about this newest book. She says, looking forward to reading it, and yes, hope this will help men, boys that to show that boys have emotions, and it takes nothing away. I love that as well. And we're
Mhm.
so glad we had a chance to connect. Thank you again for stopping by, and looking forward to our next chat together.
Thank you for having me. Thank you. Thank you for the fruitful conversation.
Look, it's definitely my pleasure. And we thank you all, our audience, for tuning in to us live here at the Warner House in Columbus, Ohio. As we're here for Colette Harrell's literary brunch that she's going to be having here in Columbus. I'll be bringing you guys more conversations here. So again, make sure you guys are following us on the Amazon side. Until next time, you all make it a great one. We'll talk to you soon. Take care.
Bye.